Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to jump into a story about a choice that, let's be honest, a lot of us face. The immediate fun of right now versus building a solid future. It's all about how one tiny habit can snowball into something that changes, well, everything. All right, so let's get right into it with the one question that really sets the stage for this whole story. It's designed to make you rethink a very common belief. And there it is. This is for anyone who's ever had that little voice in their head say, what's the big deal? It's just one time. It's harmless. This story is here to say, maybe we should take a closer look at that idea. Okay, so let's meet the guy at the center of all this, Rohit. Because to really get where this story ends up, we've absolutely got to see where it all began. So who is Rohit? Well, he's not some character out of a movie. He's just a regular guy, fresh out of college, with a dream that I think a lot of us can relate to. Just wanting to make his family proud, to build something for himself. And this is that perfect moment, right? That feeling of, I made it. He gets the job, brings home that first paycheck, and sees the happiness on his mom's face. This is the before picture, that high point, full of promise, right before one little habit started to unravel the whole thing. But you know how stories go. That perfect moment, it didn't last. Because some new people, and more importantly, some new habits started creeping into his life and pulling him off course. And this is the thought that started the downfall. It's the big lie we sometimes tell ourselves, isn't it? I'm in control. Everyone's doing it. The real danger here wasn't just the drinking. It was the delusion that he was somehow immune, that the consequences just wouldn't apply to him. And this is exactly how it happens. It's never one giant leap off a cliff. It's always a series of tiny little steps down a slippery slope. A few late nights slowly become the new normal. And then suddenly your focus isn't on doing great work anymore. It's just on keeping up appearances. Each step feels so small, so insignificant, but man, do they add up. And eventually, you run out of road. That path he was on led exactly where you'd expect, to a breaking point. That moment where all the little excuses fell apart and the reality of the situation came crashing down. Wow, you have talent, but not discipline. Can you just imagine hearing those words from your boss? It's a gut punch. A brutal summary of a completely wasted opportunity. It basically says all that potential you have, it means nothing without the self-control to actually do something with it. And the fallout was so much bigger than just losing a job. Those friends he was partying with, poof, gone. The trust he'd built with his family, completely broken. And maybe the most devastating loss of all was the one he did to himself. His confidence, his self-respect, just shattered. This really hits home. That house that was once filled with so much pride and happiness, now it's just silent. And by the time Rohit finally woke up and saw the mess he'd made, the damage was already done. So, let's get to the big takeaway here, the moral of the story. Because it's not as simple as just saying, don't have fun, right? It's way more interesting than that. Exactly. The point of the story isn't that having a good time is a bad thing, not at all. The real issue was how completely out of balance his life had become. And here it is. This is the absolute heart of the matter. The real mistake wasn't the fun itself. It was trading his entire future for a little bit of short-term pleasure. Our brains are actually wired to want that immediate reward. Rohit's story is just a perfect and kind of tragic example of what happens when that impulse is left to run wild. Yeah, just look at this. It lays out the terrible bargain he made crystal clear. On one side, you've got the temporary buzz from parties and showing off, and on the other, the actual building blocks of a life, a career, self-respect, the trust of your family. When you see it like this, the choice seems obvious. But in the moment, that short-term fun can be so tempting. And that's really what this whole story leaves us with. It's a powerful question for all of us to think about. It forces you to take a hard look at your own daily choices, those little things you do without even thinking about them, and ask a really serious question. Are these habits building the future I actually want, or are they slowly and quietly breaking it apart?